Good morning. It is Wednesday morning, March 17th, also known as National Pinch Those People Who Aren't Wearing Green Day. It is St. Patrick's Day, the 25th day of the season of Lent. And I pray that you're having a blessed and amazing day. I want to ask you a question this morning. How do you do with criticism? Now, I'm not talking about constructive criticism. I'm talking about insults and outright persecution. How do you do? Do you lash back, or are you good at turning the other cheek? Well, let's take a look at our scripture today, and I think we're going to learn something amazing. It comes to us from Jeremiah chapter 20. In Jeremiah chapter 20, Pashur, the priest, hears the words of Jeremiah, and in verse 2 it says, Pashur had Jeremiah the prophet beaten and put him in the stocks that were in the upper Benjamin gate, which was by the house of the Lord. So Pashur has Jeremiah beaten, struck down, and beaten. So our scripture this morning, let's listen to how Jeremiah responds to all of this, okay? Verse 7 through verse 12. It says, O Lord, you have deceived me and I was deceived. You have overcome me and prevailed. I have become a laughingstock all day long. Everyone mocks me. For each time I speak, I cry aloud. I proclaim violence and destruction because for me, the word of the Lord has resulted in reproach and derision all day long. But if I say I will not remember him or speak any more in his name, then in my heart it burns like a burning fire, shut up in my bones, and I am weary of holding it in, and I cannot endure it. For I have heard the whispering of many, terror on every side. Denounce him. Yes, let us denounce him. All my trusted friends, watching for my fall, say perhaps he will be deceived, so that we may prevail against him and take our revenge on him. But the Lord is with me, like a dread champion. Therefore my persecutors will stumble and not prevail. They will be utterly ashamed because they have failed, with an everlasting disgrace that will not be forgotten. Yet, O Lord of hosts, you who test the righteous, who see the mind and the heart, let me see your vengeance on them. For to you I have set forth my cause. See, you hear that verse? Yet, O Lord of hosts, verse 12, you who test the righteous, who see the mind and the heart, let me see your vengeance on them. For to you I have set forth my cause. But how do you do with persecution? How do you do when people are criticizing you and ridiculing you because of your faith in Jesus Christ, because of your faith in God? I think a lot of us are much like Peter. When Jesus is being arrested, he pulls out his sword and he strikes off one of the guards of the chief priest. He strikes off his ear, and Jesus rebukes him. Jesus tells him to put his sword away. But in Matthew chapter 26, verse 53, Jesus says something pretty crazy. He says, do you not think that I could appeal to my Father and he would instantly put at my disposal 12 legions of angels? You see, Jesus had all the capability of turning away any persecution, any kind of criticism and attack or persecution against him. But he chose to endure it. He chose to go through it. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, listen to the words of the Apostle Paul. In verse 7, he says, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the surpassing greatness of the power will be of God and not from ourselves. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not despairing, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed, always carrying about in the body the dying of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus also may be manifested in our body. And so Jeremiah, when we talk about being persecuted, Pashur beat him, put him in the stocks, and Jeremiah, he knows that God is with him. He knows that God is on his side, and that his persecutors, they'll all stumble, they'll all fail. And instead of lashing out, Jeremiah says, I want to see your vengeance on them. It's your vengeance, not my vengeance, but your vengeance. Wow, one of my lights went out. I am so sorry about that. I guess I don't have the luck of the Irish going with me today, but that's okay. My prayer is that by the end of the 40 days, that we can realize that God is with us. He hasn't left us. Even through all that persecution, we don't have to lash out. We can trust that our persecutors are going to stumble, and that God is the one who will provide the vengeance. Thank you guys so much for watching. I pray y'all have a blessed and amazing day.